2, 1. I forgot to record. So you missed that first part, but now we're going to just go wide again. Hinge forward. Now we're going to shift all the weight into the right knee. Now, check your pelvis. Make sure the knee is back towards the ankle. That left leg is straight out to the side. And speed skate. Left leg goes out, out, out. Good. Out, out, out. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring the feet together. Now it's heel tap in front, send the foot back. Left heel taps front, left foot goes back. Tap the heel, back. Tap the heel, you stay into your lunge position. Your pelvis doesn't move at all. We're just moving the femur within the pelvis. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the feet together. You're staying low into your squat. Your feet are together. Check to make sure you have equal weight into both feet. And if your knees are bothering you, see how you can work with it. How is your pelvis? Now all the weight's going to go into the heels of the feet. Now everybody stick your tailbone out. Make sure you're not rounding that low back. And let's tap the feet. Now as you tap your feet, it's not a punt. It's not a bounce. Your pelvis doesn't move. Your torso doesn't move. It's just your ankles that are dorsiflexing. As we tap, 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 feel the shins for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and now stand up tall. Now lower and lift the heels again. So really just bringing that full awareness of the ankles and the hips. Trying to keep that stability as you, now left foot is going to stay in front, right foot's going to travel back. You're just going to lunge back, whoa, and then back up. That left knee bends in front, the right leg stays straight behind you. And again, squat down and then up. You want to add in a little extra arm movement? You can. As you lunge back, that right leg, right arm go back. Right leg, right arm. For 5, 4, 3. You can make the movement big, but keep the control. Now, when you come up, you bring that right leg up to tabletop. So we're adding a little bit more of a dynamic movement. Up, and up, and up, and up. For 5, 4, 3, good, 2, and on this one, we're going to keep that right leg up. Hold, hold. Find your stability. Draw your shoulder blades down. Now, it's moving. Imagine your femur, your thigh bone is a hammer, and your tibia and tibial are a nail, and you hammer back behind you. Tabletop. So you keep the 90 degree, but you're moving your leg from your hip, and you just hammer that nail back, back up, hammer back, and up. Hammer back for 5, 4, 3, 2. The knee doesn't extend. 1, bring that leg up, place that foot down, shake it all out if you need, but then we're going to go straight into the other side. Now, left foot goes back, lunge back, lunge back. You want to keep that left leg as straight as you can. Good. So a little bit more of a dynamic warm up. Get the heart rate up a little bit. For 3, for 2, make the movement where you can control it. Now we're going to bring that left leg to tabletop as you come up, back down, and up, down, up. Good. Up and up. For 5, 4, 3, 2. On this one, you're going to hold up in tabletop. Activate the shoulders. Find your stability. Hammer that nail back. Then up. Back. So that knee is being controlled by the hip. You're keeping the flexion. You're just hammering that nail behind you. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, 1, and place that foot down. And lower and lift the heels. So coming back to that heel raise, and check in with your ankles. You want to be rising straight up, back down. Equal weight into all 5 metatarsals on each foot. For 5, try not to roll out to the pinky toe or into the big toe. Keep the heels lifted. Your heels are up. Hinge forward. Squat down, keeping those heels lifted, stand back up. This is going to emphasize the quads. So really move to your range that you can. Maintain that control, and we're working balance. For 5, 4. This is like on the reformer when we do heels lifted, pushing in and out for footwork. 2, and let's go halfway down and pause. Halfway down into your squat and pause. Check your knees. Are they pushing forward or are they going up? You want them to be going up, not forward. The knees are going forward. You're pushing your hips forward. Keep them lifted up. Now let's lower and lift the heels without letting the pelvis move. Lift and lower. Lift, lift. Good. Lift. For 5, 4, 3, 2, stand up tall, shake it all out. Good, everybody. Grab your ball or grab your ring. If you use the ring, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. You're going to place that challenging because it's going to be wider. You're going to place the ball or the ring in between the knees. Okay. Now from here, squeeze gently. So you're going to squeeze, and now you're just going to bend your right knee. Okay. Hinge forward from the hips, and then squeeze that ring to come back up. Hinge forward. Let the pelvis rotate. Keep those inner thighs engaged. Hinge forward, back up while squeezing that ball or ring. And if you have the ring, it's got to be a little bit more gentle with that squeeze. Last one, hinge forward, back up, place that foot down. So getting the idea of adduction stabilizing you. Squeeze that ring again, squeeze that ball or ring, bend the left knee, squeeze. Now it's the pelvis. Rotate your pelvis over the ball and then back up or over the ring. Rotate the pelvis over your femurs, back up. So the hips are really staying stable even though we're moving that pelvis. For 2 more, hinge, get that stretch, then back up. Last one, then back up. Place both feet down, squeeze the ring or the ball, and squat down. Squeeze that ring as you stand back up. Squat down, squeeze to stand up. So this is cueing and activating pelvic floor. You get your inner thighs to fire to stand straight up. Lower down, stand up, lower down. It takes out any of the load in the knee as well, getting more of your hip to stabilize you. For 5, good. For 4, 3, 2, and lower down and hold. Hinge forward more, place your hands down on the ground. Then you're going to kind of waddle back with that ball or ring in between the knees. Find your plank. Good. Now squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. Feel how that's going to get more muscle engagement, making the plank feel more engaged. Almost feel as if you're floating up, keeping everything engaged. Now push the shoulder blades apart. Squeeze that ring for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now with control, lower your knees down and press back into a child's pose. And then you're going to come up to an all fours position. And you're going to just get rid of that ball or ring. Okay, grab your strap. And you're going to hold your strap in your hands And so then you're going to be making knuckles into the ground, holding that strap. And you want to have breaking it up into thirds, meaning in between your two hands is a third of the strap. On the outside of your pinky on either side is about a third of your strap. Okay, and then from here, you're just going to really engage into those hips. Reach that right arm up and towards the ceiling, bringing the strap with you. And then rotate back to center. Bring that left hand up towards the ceiling, pulling into the strap. And then back to center. So we're getting the rotation of the spine to move that strap. Good. Back to center. Now, if you have a very long strap, you need to make this tighter so you get more work on that rotation. It's not supposed to be incredibly challenging. We're still working. This is your multifidi of your spine. 2 more. 1, 2. Great. Now, place your hands flat underneath your strap. Sorry, on top of your strap. Your strap is going to be underneath your hands. You extend your left leg back, then your right leg back, coming into your plank. Separate your shoulder blades. You can always drop down to your knees if this ever gets to be too much. Now, let's do the same thing. We're going to rotate into a side plank. Bring that strap towards the ceiling. Rotate into your side plank. Right hand or whichever hand towards the ceiling works. You can drop your bottom knee onto the ground at any point. Now, bring that top arm parallel to the ground in front of you, and then reach back up. Bring that arm parallel to the ground in front of you. Reach back up. Now, you can also drop down to your forearm at any point if this gets to be too much. For 5, feel the back of your shoulder blades, top and back of your shoulder for 4, 3, 2, last 1. Rotate back to center, lower down to your knees, push back into a child's pose, circle the arms. So paying attention to where your shoulder blades are. Always omit the strap if you're starting to feel this too much into the neck, or give yourself more slack. Don't make the strap as tight. So we're going to be doing the other side now. Hands are pressing into the strap. So we're getting this rotation, strengthening the multifidi, strengthening the obliques to rotate. Come back into your plank. Push, separate the shoulder blades. Squeeze those inner thighs towards one another. Now, we're going to rotate the opposite side up, bringing that strap up. Find your side plank. Good. Now, I'm keeping my feet staggered. My top leg should be in front. Now, lower that arm to parallel to the ground in front of you. Reach it back up. Lower down. Now, soften that bottom elbow. Make sure you're not locked. Keep the shoulders drawing down away from the ears. Good. You can always place that bottom leg on the ground. This is about the stability in the shoulders and the movement in the shoulders. For 3, for 2, last 1. And rotate back to center. Lower your knees down. Round the shoulders forward and back. And we're going to do a couple cat-cows here. You round up. You extend back. You round up. Extend back. Now, you're going to come to a sitting position. Grab your ball. You're going to place your ball underneath your low back behind you. And you're going to wrap your feet with the strap. So you have your ball behind your low back to give you support. You want it really tucked in. Hands are going to be in the strap. This is going to provide the support for your low back so you can work on your core and not have to stress out your neck. Now, arms straight out in front. Roll back into your C curve, pushing into the ball. Good. Now, check out your arms. You want to not let your shoulders coming out of the socket. You want to engage your shoulder blades back. Now, everybody look up at the ceiling. Then keep your ears where they are and just bring your chin down. Ears are in line with the shoulders back into the C curve. And now from here, let's bend and straighten the elbows. Soothe and tilt your pubic bone more. Yes, that's going to push your sternum down into the ball more. Good. For 5. Good, Lulu. 4. We're going slow. 3. At any point, if it's too much, you can always sit up more. 2. I might have said 2 twice now. Pause with your elbows bent and hold. Draw your shoulder blades down. Find the secure. Push your shoulders towards the ground. Now bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. You got to stretch through the neck. As we're keeping the engagement of the shoulders, you're stretching out the neck. Then bring it back up. Left ear towards left shoulder. Push your shoulders down. Keep the downward push of the shoulders. Bring your head back upright. That should be in between your shoulders. Tilt the pubic bone. Now draw the legs towards you. And then press them back down. You want to keep your torso pushing into that ball. Now, if that ball is being too much, you can get rid of the ball and work on the balance more. For 3. Good. For 2. Last 1. Press the feet down, roll up. Stretch out those hamstrings. Stack up tall. Round the shoulders forward and back. Okay, you're going to just let the strap go, and it's going to be out at the sides. You don't want to, it will fall off your feet, but you still want it in this position because we're going to come back to it. Now, you're going to have your arms straight out in front of you. Then separate your feet in line with your shoulders. So you're in a kind of a V. And now we're going to open your arms out to the side, rotate your torso to the right, and push out of both heels. And then rotate back to center. We're just doing a little spinal twist, rotate to the left, come back to center. Now check in, make sure that your legs don't move when you do this. It's just your torso. Center, rotate to the other side, and center. Bring them back, round the shoulders forward and back. Okay, bring your feet back into the strap. We're not going to use the ball for this part because you're going to lie flat. Lie flat on the ground. Keep the ball somewhat close because we will be using it again. So you're lying down flat. At any point, you want to do a little bit more core work here. You draw your sternum down and we curl up. If your neck is bothering you, please omit the curl up. But if you want to challenge that core and work it a little bit harder, curl your head and shoulders up. Float your arms to parallel to the ground. Now let's bend and straighten the elbows. You bend, you straighten. Bend and straighten. Good. Bend and straighten. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Bend the elbows and hold. Now, you're going to rotate. If your head is down, you can still do this. You rotate your right shoulder blade off and straighten that right arm over the body. And then rotate that right shoulder blade down. Bring that right arm back down. Your elbows are floating parallel to the ground. And then rotate and reach that left arm up. And then back down. You can do this while head stays on the ground. It will slightly come off when you rotate, but then it comes back down to rest. Rotate and reach. Back down. Rotate and reach. And just feel that whole line out when that straight arm through the foot. 1 more on each side. This is 1, then back down, and this is 1. Then back down. Straighten your arms down. Let your arms come away from your ears, let your shoulders come away from your ears. Keep your right foot in the strap. Straighten the right leg towards the ceiling. Bend your elbows so you put a little bit more tension into the strap, and we're going to just lower and lift that leg. You lower it down, you lift it up. You lower down, you lift up. Lower down, lift up. Good. Lower and lift. For 5, for 4. So we're going to challenge the stability of the pelvis here by having unequal weight in the legs. 2, 1. Reach that right leg straight up towards the ceiling and hold. Now everybody flatten out your low back by doing a pelvic tilt. Bring your left leg to tabletop. Okay, at any point, if this gets to be too much, this is the position you come to, or you can even rest that left foot on the ground. Now, you're going to straighten that left leg forward, so you're making the scissor split. If you can and feel comfortable, curl your head and shoulders off the mat, and then we're going to do single straight leg stretch with 1 foot strapped. So you get a little bit of support, but the weight, the load in the pelvis is uneven. See if you can get that left hip to work just as hard as the right hip, even though it's not strapped. Activate the glute. You do the work instead of requiring an outside source for 5,
5, 4, 4. Listen to your body. If your neck's hurting, rest it. 2, 2, 1, 1. Bring that left leg to tabletop. Right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Rest the left foot down. Lower the head and shoulders. That right leg still straight up towards the ceiling. Lift your hips towards the ceiling, then lower back down. Single leg bridge, and you push up into the strap. Let the left side of your hip get a stretch, and then you lower back down. This is a faster pace, but you can still find, you don't have to go as quickly as I am. You can find that stretch and find the work in the slowness of the movement as well. So now for this next 3, we're going to go very slow. It's going to be a 5 count to lift the hips up. Squeeze that glute, lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Now slow 5 count to lower down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Focus on how still your pelvis is for this next 5 count to lift up. Your pelvis doesn't change shape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow 5 count to lower down. Pelvis doesn't change shape. Your sacrum should hit first. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bend that right knee in towards your chest. Bring that foot out of the strap. Then you're going to place the left foot in the strap. Straighten it up towards the ceiling. Your right leg can stay bent or you can straighten it out, whichever feels most comfortable. And we're just going to lower and lift that left leg straight up and back down. Good. Warming up the left side now to have the load. We've already worked that right side a little bit harder, so it may feel easier to engage it when we're doing it, our scissor kicks again. So really try to keep that same engagement. You already know what it feels like on the right side to have a load. See if you can make that same feeling without the strap. Last one, you're going to lower the left leg down, lift it back up. Bring your right leg to tabletop. Curl the head and shoulders off the mat. Straighten that right leg forward and scissor kick. Remember, you can always drop back, meaning lower the head and shoulders if you need to. Listen to your body. Find the engagement in that right side. Pushing down, lifting up. Engage that whole hip complex for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that left leg towards the ceiling. Bend the right leg into tabletop. Place the foot down. Lower your head and shoulders. Lift the hips up. Lower the hips down. Single leg hip lift. You lower that hip, lift it back up. Left leg pushes towards the ceiling, but the pelvis doesn't change shape. You want to keep your neutral spine. I know that seems weird. It takes a little bit more concentration. You're not articulating up. You're just hip lifting up. Last one. And now we're going to do a slow 5 count to lift the hips up. Slow 5 count for 5. Pelvis doesn't change shape. Focus on that. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Check in. Make sure your pelvis is in neutral. Slow 5 count to lower down. 5, 4. Really feeling only the glute and the hip. 1. Hold. Inhale here. Find that neutral spine. Heavy tailbone. 5 count to lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 count to lower down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that left leg into tabletop. Place that foot on the ground. Let go of the strap. Find your ball or ring. You're going to place it in between the knees. You're going to be on the ground. Now, if you have that ring, remember it's a little bit heavier. You don't have to squeeze as hard as you can. If you have that ball, you're going to squeeze a little bit harder. Okay, squeeze and hold. Now feel that hold drawing up of the inner thighs. So now lift the hips up while still squeezing that ring. There's a fascial connection between inner thighs and opposite oblique. So it's right inner thigh to left oblique, left inner thigh to right oblique. Feel if you can engage those obliques more by drawing down and across. Now you're going to reach those arms straight up towards the ceiling. Draw your shoulder blades down. Let everything be engaged to secure here. Now straighten your left leg straight out in front of you. And you're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower your hips down. Keep the arms where they are. Keep that left leg straight out in front. Bring the hands behind the head to support the neck. Good. Now we're bringing right armpit towards left knee. As you rotate, squeeze that ring or ball. The pelvis doesn't move. You're engaging those inner thighs to keep the pelvis still. The rotation is just of the torso, targeting and isolating the obliques for 5. Grow longer in the neck for 4. Push the head into the hands for 3 to let the neck extensors work more to stabilize. 2, and on this one, you're holding. Your right shoulder blade is towards that left leg that is straight out in front. If this is ever too much, you place that left foot on the ground. Now we're going to pulse up, bringing that left shoulder blade up now. Pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, lower everything back down. Unsqueeze that ball for a second. Send the knees side to side. Place that ball or ring back in between the knees. Squeeze and hold. Now we're going to straighten that right leg straight out in front of you. Let's squeeze that ring or ball 10 times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Squeeze and hold. Reach those arms up towards the ceiling. If it's ever too much, you can lower the arms back down, but lift your hips up and hold. Now, your hips are already engaged. Keep that engagement on both sides of the pelvis. It's easier just to let the left side work because it has that source of the ground, but keep that right side active. Push out of that heel for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that right knee, place the foot on the ground. Squeeze the ring or ball again. Lower the hips back down. Bring the hands behind the head. Support the neck. Left armpit towards right leg. The foot is on the ground right now. See if you can get that established inner thigh connection. Once you have that inner thigh connection, engaging those inner thighs, straighten the right leg to a low angle, just straightening that knee and working that oblique sling of left oblique to right inner thigh for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and on this one you hold. That left shoulder blade is off. Now try to pull your right shoulder blade off by coming forward for 10, 9, squeeze that ring, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down. Get rid of the ball or the ring. Send the knees side to side. And let's just roll over onto our stomachs. All that flexion. Nicely done. So we're on the stomachs. You're going to bend your elbows and draw your shoulder blades down. And we're going to just do some extension. Listen to your body here. Push your pubic bone gently into the mat. Draw the shoulder blades down. And as you lift up, you want to push your heart forward. So your ribs come forward on the mat, drawing up as you lift up. And then you're going to lower back down. Belly button, bottom of the ribs, then the sternum. Then you're going to draw your shoulder blades down as you press your heart forward to lift up. And you can press into your hands now to come up as high as feels comfortable for you. Now remember, this is articulation through the spine. We're not trying to load the shoulders and push up and then drop down. Belly button, bottom of the ribs, then your sternum. We're not hinging up. We're not doing a push-up. It's draw the shoulder blades down. Feel your spine growing longer and pulling you up. And then you can press into your hands. Your pelvis shouldn't be off the ground. Your pubic bone shouldn't be off the ground. You're pushing it down. And then drop down. Belly button, bottom of the ribs, sternum. And then you're going to tuck your toes to the bottom of your feet or close to coming on the ground. So your toes are tucked. Then you're going to lift your head and chest up and hold. Your toes are tucked as if you were in a plank. Now lift up higher. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders and they're resting on the ground. So you're in this kind of sphinx position. Now from here, press your heart forward. Draw your belly button away from the ground and draw your shoulder blades away from your ears. Should feel very secure up in the chest and you're holding yourself up. Tuck the toes. Now squeeze your butt and we're going to lift the hips up into a plank. Good, everybody. That was great. Holding here.
Now, imagine you have that ball in between the knees or the ring in between the knees. Get the inner thighs engaged. Hold for 5, 4, 3. Now, what you're going to do is point the feet. That's going to push your shoulders forward over your wrists. Then press your shoulders back on top of your elbows. Point the feet to push yourself forward. Then you push yourself back. So these are forearm push-ups. You point the feet, then you press yourself back. Point the feet, press yourself back for 3, 2, 1. And now lower the knees down, keeping your hips lifted. Push back into a child's pose. And then you're going to build your spine up and grab your strap. So now you're going to take your strap, you're going to wrap it around your back, and it's going to go underneath the shoulder blades, and then you're going to have your arms bent into your side. So it's wrapped around your back, underneath the armpits. Yeah, and then from here, we're working on the pressing out from underneath the armpit. So feel where that strap is underneath the armpit. That's where you're pushing forward from as you reach out. And we're trying to engage your serratus anterior right along the ribs. As you push forward, feel that stretch across the back and then back down. Press forward, back in. Press forward, back in. For 3 more. 3, 2. Now we're going to press forward and hold. We're up in this high kneeling position. If you can get there, then you're going to hinge forward. Find the ground with your hands. You still have that pressure pushing into the strap. This is what your muscles should be doing when we hit our plank, which is what we're going into. Keep that pressure pushing into the strap in through your back and straighten up and hold. So now we have that awareness of the upper body, feeling the shoulder blades being separated. If you cave in, that strap's going to feel like it's starting to pull you down, but push into that strap without rounding. You're not rounding your back up. You're pushing from the shoulder blades for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1. Bring your left knee in and onto the ground. Tuck both toes. Then you're going to come up. That left leg is back, and then you can bring it in. And now we're going to bring the right knee forward. You still have that pressure into the straps. If it ever gets to be too much into the neck, you bend the elbows in. Reach those arms forward. You're in this 90-90 lunge position here now. Everybody, you're going to just hover your knee off by coming up. Now, if this is ever too much for anybody's knee, you're going to just straighten that back leg. If you can, hover into a 90-90. Hold here. Good. Now open the arms out to the side and hold. Let's paint 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With control, you lower your knee back down. Let your arms come in. Bring your knees together. Take that strap, let it go onto the ground. Now, we've just done a lot of isometric hold in the shoulders. See if you can get that same engagement without the strap. Tuck the toes of the back foot, being your right foot. Bring your left foot forward now. 90-90. Reach your arms forward. Draw your shoulder blades down. Keep that engagement of the shoulder girdle. Listen to your body. Either go up to a 90-90 or straighten that back leg. Listen to your body. Do what works best for you. And we're holding. Open those arms out to the side. Find the engagement of the shoulders. Hold. Let's paint 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2. With control, slowly lower down. Great job, everybody. So you doing the work instead of using that strap, it feels different, but you can get that engagement on your own. Okay, now coming back to an all fours and then lower down to your side. Let's have one side facing the ceiling. It doesn't matter which one, because we're going to do both. Okay,
Now, you're going to bend both legs into tabletop in front of you. We're going to work our external rotators, and this is going to be a just go until you can't. It's a burn series. You're going to just externally rotate and then back down. Your heels stay squeezing together. Your pelvis doesn't move. Your pelvis doesn't move. Up and down, up and down, up. If you have that ball and want to create a little pillow for yourself with that ball, that's fine. Lift the knee up and hold. Now your knee stays still. Lift your heel to meet your knee and then back down. Heel lifts to meet the knee and down and down. Good. So now we're getting that rotation of internal to parallel and then back down to external rotation for 3, 2, knee doesn't move in space, 1. Now, knee doesn't move in space. Lift the heel up and then rotate back to parallel. Lift the heel up, parallel. Lift the heel up, parallel. Lift the heel up, parallel. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, last 1, and straighten the leg back in line with your body. Let's paint 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're just going to keep that leg parallel to the ground. You're going to kick forward and back for 5, 4, 3. Now we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. 2, because this has all been so much fun, right? 1, kick the leg back in line with your body. Paint your circles one direction. So for me, I'm kicking my foot forward and then circling back around. Now, as you continue to make these small circles, kick your leg forward. So you're kicking forward and making your circles. And then once you get that full range of hip flexion, you change direction of your circles and kick back in line with your body. Talk about feeling awkward and uncoordinated. This will make you feel that way. And then change direction of your circles as you kick forward. So we're working the entire hip complex as we go into flexion and extension. And then change direction of your circles as you kick back. Good. Last one. Make those hip circles as you kick forward. And then change direction of those hip circles as you kick back. And then you're going to lower that leg down. Reach that top arm up. Reach out of that leg and stretch, stretch, stretch. Push, push, push. And then you're going to bend that knee up. Push yourself up. And let's switch to the other side. So really testing and working that range of motion of the hip. Create a little pillow for yourself. Bend both of your legs up into tabletop. And external rotation. Rotate the knee up, then back down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Rotate that knee up towards the ceiling and hold. Now knee stays still, rotates the ankle up, drop the ankle down. Lift the ankle up, lower the ankle down. Lift and lower. Good. So you rotate to parallel, then externally rotate again. Good. For 3 more. 3, 2, and lift up to parallel and hold. Now we're lifting the ankle up and then rotate back to parallel. Lift up, parallel. Lift up, parallel. Lift up, parallel. Lift up, parallel. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then straighten the leg back in line with your body. Let's paint 5 circles each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick forward and back. We're just doing 5 kick forwards and backs, and then we're going to add the circles with these kick forwards for 3, 4, and 5. Now start to make your hip circles one direction as you kick forward. And then change direction of those circles as you kick the leg back.
Good. We're working that whole range of motion of the hip. Kick forward, changing direction of your circles. And then kick back, changing direction of the circles. Feel how complicated the movement of the hip can be. And then kick forward, changing direction of the circles. This is the last one. And then kick back in line with your body, taking those circles the other direction. Lower that leg down once you're in line with your body and reach that arm up. Get your stretch. And then you come out of that stretch, roll onto your back. Bring your outside of your right ankle to the top of the left knee, and you externally rotate. So we're getting this figure 4 stretch. We're doing active, isolated stretching. So you're going to draw the knee up towards your chest, hold for 2 seconds, 1, 2, place the foot back down. Keep your spine in neutral. Push the tailbone heavy into the mat. Draw the leg up towards tabletop, hold for 1, 2, pelvis doesn't move, place the foot back down. Draw that left knee towards tabletop. Push the right knee away from you. Hold for 1, 2. Push back down. Last one. Draw that knee up and hold. 1, 2. Place the foot back down. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Both feet are flat. Outside of the left ankle comes to the top of the right knee. You're pushing that left knee away from your body. Now, draw that right leg to tabletop and hold. 1, 2. Place the foot back down. You might find that each time you can come higher up, pull up and hold. 1, 2, place the foot back down. Keep the heavy sacrum, bring the leg to tabletop, hold 1, 2, place it back down. Last one, bring that leg towards tabletop and hold. 1, 2, place it back down. Then you're going to straighten both legs straight out in front of you. Reach those arms straight up towards the ceiling, draw the shoulder blades down. Look down the nose, roll the spine up, one vertebra at a time. Lean forward, getting that hamstring stretch. Then stack your spine up, shake it all out. Fantastic job, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend.